Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy BIGark, back again with another World of Warcraft video. Since you all love the Shadow Priest tutorial and full DPS guide that I posted, I am doing a healing guide for Discipline Priest now. I'm back on my Priest, as you can see. Before we get into the guide and any of the in-depth stuff, I do want to mention that we are still doing a WoW token giveaway at 250, 500, and 1,000 subscribers. We are currently at 207 subs while recording this video, so we are oh so close to doing that first draw. I want to thank every single one of you that has subscribed so far. Thanks for all the support. If you're interested in how you enter, you basically just subscribe, and once we're at 250, I pull the first name. Simple as that. Anyways, we're going to get into this video pretty quick here. You can see him on my Priest. Normally he's Shadow, but I know how to play Discipline. That's what I played in the last expansion with him, and honestly, it is a very fun spec. So a lot of healers have their certain rotations where it's just keeping heal over time effects, main casting spells, so whatever. Discipline is kind of the anomaly where you have to do damage to keep everyone alive. It's definitely an intricate play class if you haven't done much healing before. It's different than a lot of healers and their specializations, and it's pretty cool in my opinion, just doing damage and being mid of the table sometimes compared to bad DPS, and you're still cranking out heals. So basically, I'm going to get into the main difference that Discipline Priests have. Let me just get my UI here. You can see I have my bars here. We're going to go to the passive effect here, Atonement. So the tooltip reads, Power Word Shield, Shadow Mend, and Power Word Radiance apply Atonement to your target for 15 seconds. Your spell damage heals all targets affected by Atonement for 50% of the damage done. This is basically the key. You're going to want to keep up this buff on as many people as possible. For the Mythic Plus settings, the raid settings, this is a perfect specialization to play, just because there's not too many people, and you can keep this up kind of as it refreshes, and you're just dealing damage most of the time. We're going to go into the mastery in a second here and just tell you how it boosts the atonement that you get. So this is kind of the stat that you want to scale with it. We're going to scale mastery, mastery grace specifically. Tooltip reads, your healing and absorption is increased by 21.6% on targets with atonement. As your mastery goes up, this number will scale, so it will go up as well. But basically, the mastery goes hand in hand with your passive ability to make sure more of the damage that you do gets put onto targets as heals. So we're going to go into the talents and everything like that, and then we'll get into a rotation. Since I am an Orgrimmar, it is going to be hard to show a healing rotation, so at the end of the video I will include just me running through like a random heroic or random mythic where I'm healing it, and you can see just kind of what I would do in certain situations, whether it's multiple mobs, boss fight, and stuff like that. So we're going to get right into the talents here. As you can see, it is mostly a straight line. We're going to go into each one and explain why each one has their good, why each one has their bad, and basically which one you want to pick for no matter reason. Starting at the level 15 bracket, we have Castigation. Tooltip reads, Penance fires an additional bolt of Holy Light during its duration. Twist of Fate. After healing a target below 35% health, you deal 20% increased damage and 20% increased healing for 10 seconds. That's a good second, but we're going to get into Schism or Schism. 250 mana, 1.4 second cast. Attack the enemy soul with a surge of shadow energy, dealing 1898 shadow damage and increasing your spell damage to the target by 25% for 9 seconds. Basically, since Discipline Priest is a damage dealing healer, you're going to always want to go with this right here. It's an extra ability. You can see I have it on my toolbars here, key bound to number 4. It's basically going to heal the target based on the damage you do and give you increased spell damage for the target. So definitely bigger heals coming your way whenever you use this. If you remember back in my Shadow Priest guide, the 25 bracket was basically the whole movement one. Body and soul is definitely what you want to pick for Shadow. However, in this Discipline Priest guide, you're going to want to go to Angelic Feather. So I'm going to do a quick example here. It has a little range that you can do it. We're going to do it right in front of myself, and it just gives you a little 40% speed boost, and you can stack it. So just kind of use them as you wish. This is good for helping raid members keep up if they don't have movement abilities. And definitely, you know, speeds up the process. I know in the Maw how you can't mount yet unless you kill a certain mob, so it definitely helps you moving around when you have that ability there. So Getting into the 30 level talent, we have Shield Discipline. Tooltip, when your power word shield is completely absorbed, you restore 0.5% of your maximum mana. Mindbender, so it was a talent for the Shadow Priest as well. Tooltip reads summons a Mindbender to attack the target. You regen 0.5% of your mana each time the Mindbender attacks. And you have Power Word Solace. You're going to want to pick Power Word Solace every single time. It's a 40-yard range, strikes an enemy with heavenly power, dealing 1012 damage and restoring 1% of your maximum mana. So every single one of these restores your mana. However, one thing I've come to notice, end game Shadowlands, is you don't really go out of mana that easy if you're just pretty good at keeping up, whether it's your heal over time effects or just straight up paying attention to where you're stepping, and you're all good. So even though these ones all bring back mana and stuff like that, it's not a super important part of the Discipline Priest playstyle. So you're always going to pick Power Word Solace because it's just another damage dealing ability, so you'll get more atonement healing from that, as well as you get some mana back. So that's just another added bonus. You're mostly in it for the damage here. We're going to go to the 35 level bracket. Start off with Psychic Voice. Reduces the cooldown of Psychic Scream by 30 seconds. Dominant Mind. You may also control your own character while Mind Control is active, but Mind Control has a 2-minute cooldown and may not be used against players. And Shining Force. So, PvP, PvE, you're always going to want to pick Shining Force. Dominant Mind, you're not going to want to pick for PvP. PvE, I'm not so sure about. I've never even tried it there. Psychic Voice is good for like heavy mobs and stuff like that, but it's just a second compared to Shining Force. Basically, I'm going to show you what it looks like here. It's basically around you here, and it just kind of knocks them away, and their movement speed is slowed, so you can use your Angelic Feather, whoop, pop away out of that, and continue doing damage, healing, wherever you can be. So we're going to move on to the 40 level talent right now. Sins of the Many, the one you actually pick, the first one, your damage is increased by up to 12%, diminishing for each ally affected by your atonement. Basically, this is pretty good for like your dungeon groups, not so much for raids. It's really good because you can get more damage output, meaning your atonement heals for more, and basically you're just going to help your numbers on the charts sort of thing. Just to see what the other ones look like, we have Contrition here. It's a passive. When you heal with Penance, everyone with your atonement is healed for 150. It's a cool one, but Sins of the Many is definitely a lot better for damage output turning into healing. We have Shadow Covenant. Makes a shadowy pact, healing the target and 4 other injured allies within 30 yards for 1800. For 9 seconds, your shadow spells deal 25% increased damage and healing, but you cannot cast holy spells. One thing I like about the Discipline Priest is it's pretty reactive, so you have a lot of shadow spells and holy spells to react to whatever damage you have incoming. So you definitely don't want to pick Shadow Covenant if you don't know what the fight is going to be, because that limits what kind of abilities you can use. Especially for 9 seconds. That's kind of a long lockout, and a lot of shit can happen in 9 seconds, so you may not want to risk it. We're going to go down to the 45 level bracket here. There's 2 options here depending on what you're going to do. We're going to start with the one that you never really choose, is Divine Star. Throw a Divine Star forward, healing allies in its path for 841. Basically it heals it like each time it goes. So if I was to attack this training dummy here and there was someone like halfway, it would heal him on the way and then heal him on the way back. So it's like a double heal. It's okay. So basically we're going to get into these 2. We have Purge the Wicked and Halo. Halo is definitely a lot better for single target. Tooltip reads, creates a ring of holy energy around you that it quickly expands to a 30-yard radius, healing allies for 1700 and dealing 1300 holy damage. So kind of a heal and damage combo. If you have atonement on allies, it'll use that damage as healing, so it's a win-win there. If you do have a lot of mobs and it's like AoE, multiple target, you're going to want to do Purge the Wicked, so it replaces your SWP, Shadow Word Pain. Cleanses the target with fire, causing 2A2 damage, an additional 1700 damage over 20 seconds, and it spreads to an additional nearby enemy when you cast Penance on the target. So it's really good when you have a bunch of mobs kind of in a group nearby. It'll just spread it, you do more damage, more atonement, and that's a win-win. So we're going to go down to the 50 level talent. You would think it's a clear winner, but it's not. Split between Spirit Shell and Evangelism, but we're going to get into Lenience here. Basically, Atonement reduces damage taken by 3%. It's kind of a write-off. You don't have to worry about that too much. Spirit Shell, it replaces Rapture. We'll get into all the abilities in a second here. For 10 seconds, Penance, Power Word Radiance, and Atonement create Absorb shields for 100% of their value instead of healing. So basically like a bunch of like shields that you can use instead of actually getting quick damage. Good on tanks, good if you're getting bursted down, so that's a pretty good one for that scenario. But the main one you're kind of always going to want to lean to is Evangelism. It's an instant cast, 90-second cooldown, extends the duration of all your active atonements by 6 seconds. So honestly, where I can see this being super viable is in Mythic Plus, raids, dungeons, whatever, even Battlegrounds. If you have atonement on a bunch of targets and you're going to be stunned, whatever, you have dots up, definitely pop this, because while you're not even healing, all your damage dealing effects are just going to keep healing your targets just for 6 seconds longer, and it makes quite a big difference. So you're definitely going to want to pick Evangelism here. PvP talents are definitely up to you, but I picked Archangel. Refreshes the duration of your atonement on all allies when cast, and increases your healing and absorption effects by 20% for 15 seconds. Really good for a 1-minute cooldown, really good in arenas. MBGs, definitely for 3s. Ultimate Radiance, so your Power Word Radiance, is now instant cast, and the healing is increased by 250%. And then Searing Light, so the damage of your smite is increased by 15%. Whenever you deal damage with smite, the cooldown of your penance is also reduced by a second. So really good there. Those are good damage focused abilities and basically help spread your atonement, which is always a win-win for Discipline Priest. So we're going to get into the main spell abilities here and the main kind of rotation that you want to go through. So you're going to want to keep, so if you have like multiple groups here, pretend these are allies, Power Word Radiance is always going to be good. So Burst of Light heals a target and 4 injured allies within 30 yards for 1200, so a decent starter heal, and then applies Atonement for 60% of its normal duration. So basically it spreads Atonement to your group and you can start dealing damage, and it's all good. It's good to keep up on Refresher if you notice that group is going down. There are a couple of ways to spread Atonement. We're going to get into those first, and that is through Power Word Radiance, Power Word Shield. This gives you Atonement as well. And I'm pretty sure Penance also gives it, but I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, we're going to just kind of like go through the main abilities. As you know, I've already said before, Atonement is a big thing. You want to keep it up on multiple people. So if you have it here, and so you want it on him, you can see here you're going to start just by, you know, like you can do your dots, penance. You can see the heals that you're doing for everyone here. Basically everyone is like in touch. If you want to put it on here, there's your Power Word Radiance. You're going to do Halo here, and then, you know, basically keep up your heals, and everyone in this kind of area will be healed for that. So it's pretty good for keeping up. You can see I did like 1200 damage, and a lot of that is reflected into healing. So basic rotation here, Penance, you're going to want to use it on cooldown because it is a healing or damage ability. So depending on who you use it on, I could use it on myself and it heals me for about 4,000. Tooltip says 4,500. Or it does 1,500 damage to whatever target you're dealing, which is nice. Shadow Word Pain, every priest class knows this. You're going to want to keep it up on targets. This is going to be your dot damage over time effect. This is just going to keep ticking away, and you'll get some definitely some atonement healing from that. Mind Blast you're going to want to use on cooldown too. Basically, it blasts like a target as it reads in the tooltip, and it's just another damage dealing effect. To spread your atonement, you're going to want to use Power Word Radiance, which is basically that bubble heal. Then you have Schism, which is basically, so like we'll put atonement on myself, atonement on him, and we'll just show it off here. Schism you can see there, but now I have increased spell damage on that target, so these definitely get a lot more healing. You can see there, just constant, which is pretty awesome. So Atonement lasts for about 14 seconds fully, so depending on what ability you use, it'll be a little bit less, or it's maximum 14 seconds. Shadow Mend, this is what you're gonna want to use if your target is suffering damage. So the multiple ways to apply Atonement: Shadow Damage, Power Word Shield, and Power Word Radiance. So if you suffer damage, let's say you're gonna want to use you're gonna want to use Shadow Mend because I'll give them Atonement, then you're doing damage. If the target is at full health, though, just do Power Word Shield. It's a lot easier way to apply Atonement to the target. You just want to do Shadow Man because it actually gives you the instant heal as opposed to a shield, so, you know, more health is there. Already went through evangelism here. Basically, we're going to get into covenants at the end and how they help. Basically, with Necrolord, it is kind of the second choice. You have the Unholy Nova, which you saw in my Shadow Priest guide. So basically, it deals damage, heals, and that damage just kind of transitions to atonement, but also it does a group heal as well. So it's okay. But the best covenant I know is Kyrian, because it's a mastery increase, and you know, mastery for discipline priest increases the healing done to your atonement targets, so you're always going to want that. I think with the Kyrian it's like a 42% increase for like 15 seconds. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure, but definitely that is the best covenant. You're going to want to keep that mastery on cooldown. Discipline priest is my secondary spec, so that's why I kind of stayed with the Necrolords, because I'm mainly Shadow. But yeah, that's besides the point. You have a couple abilities on the side that basically help quicken how quick you're going to put your spells on a target and basically reduce damage. So basically for a haste increase, you have your power infusion. Infuses the target with power for 20 seconds, increases haste by 25%. Very good when you're doing a lot of casting, like smiting, schisms, basically anything that you have to get up. If you're always in a pickle, use this. It'll increase your cast time, and it's a win-win. We're going to get down to Power Word Barrier. So summons a holy barrier to protect all allies at the target location for 10 seconds, reducing damage by 25% and preventing damage from delaying spell casting. So definitely good for arenas. It's okay for raids and dungeons. You can see this is what it looks like here. 3-minute cooldown, so it's not too bad. You're going to use Rapture whenever you need to get your Power Word shields up quickly. So the tooltip reads immediately Power Word shield your target, and for the next 8 seconds, Power Word shield absorbs an additional 200% and may be cast on targets with Weakened Soul. So basically, Weakened Soul is a debuff that every person with Power Word shield or any kind of like ability similar to that gets, so you can't be affected by it again for a certain amount of time. It is only like 6.5 seconds, I think, so it's not too bad. But basically, if you really need to get like those shields going around, you use Rapture, and there's no cooldown on it. If you already put the shield on someone, you can put it again because there's no debuff, so it's really good at just spreading Power Word shield. You have Pain Suppression here, so reduces all damage taken by a friendly target by 40% for 8 seconds. Castable while stunned. This is good for PvP for yourself, but if you're in a PvE setting, definitely good to put on the tanks when they have stacks of a debuff. Just kind of eases them. It lasts for 8 seconds, so it's pretty decent if you're almost cutting the damage by half. Yeah, really good there. So basically you have your own self-heal. Also, I just have this on the side here because I just have my main abilities on the main action bars here. So you have Desperate Prayer. Every priest has this. 25% of your health heal and increases your health by 25% as well. And then Shadow Word Death. Basically, it doesn't trigger Atonement. That's why I don't have it on the main bar. But it basically finishes off your target, inflicts over 1,000. But if the target isn't under 20%, then the caster also gets afflicted with the damage. So it's not a main damage dealing one that you want to keep. So there is better options there. Yeah. I went into the covenants, the rotation, what you can see. It's kind of hard to show because I don't have healing training dummies. I know there is some somewhere. I just don't have the resources right now to find them. Like, I just don't know where they are. So I went through kind of a rough thing, but I will include kind of just me running through a heroic or mythic, just me healing it, and kind of what you can expect to see in different situations and how a Shadow Priest works. So this has been it for the guide, the information part, just kind of running it through what you're going to want to keep up. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, comment. Always love to interact with the people who enjoy the videos. We are doing a quick reminder, I'm going to do a quick reminder because we are doing a quick giveaway at 250 subs. We're so close, 207 recording this video. It's basically a WoW token every 250, 500, and 1,000 subscribers. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun. So if you really enjoyed the video, want to see more content, want to suggest some content, leave it in the comments below. If you want to know when I upload, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button, and you will see every time I upload. I do have some more class guides coming soon. I'm leveling alt. So far I'm leveling up my warrior, my monk, my warlock, and I have a mage as well. Paladin in the future, but you know, we'll see how that goes. For now, thanks for sticking around. If you do want to see how I made 90,000 gold per hour last week, I did make a video about it as well. It's on the main hub of my channel page, so go check that out as well. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been your boy BIGark with another World of Warcraft video, and I'll see you next time.
Victory, mortals.
How dare you defy me! Obey